माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोरनन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन
यमुनातीरावनचारि
यमुनतीरावनचारि
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय
जय
जय
गौरनिताय
गौरानिताय जय
गौरनिताय
गौरानिताय जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा श्रील प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपदा जय
जय
प्रभुपदा
प्रभुपद
जय
जय प्रभुपद
प्रभुपदा
श्रील प्रभुपद
प्रभुपदा निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि
हरि बोल
हरि
हरि
बोल हरि
हरि
बोल
बोल
निताय
नित्याय गौरा हरि
हरि
बोल
बोल जय युगम हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की
जय
जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय
जय Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, and welcome to our daily morning reading of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. On behalf of ISKCON Brisbane, I warmly welcome you all. And I'm very thankful for this service. I know I'm not qualified to speak on these sacred topics, and especially in the presence of all of you, very advanced devotees. But by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, by the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, and the entire Guru Parampara, I will try to repeat something that I have heard from Srila Prabhupada and other devotees. And if anything useful comes, it is by the mercy of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. And if there is any mistake, it is due to my own lack of realization and qualification. And I seek forgiveness from all of you for that in advance. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So we are reading from Canto 5, The Creative Impetus, Chapter 2, titled The Activities of Maharaj Agnidra. And just a quick recap, in the previous chapter, we were reading about activities of Maharaj Priyavrat. And we saw that he had 2 queens and 10 sons. Now in this chapter, we are reading about one of his sons, Agnidra. So after Priyavrat retired, Agnidra, he became the successor, the ruler of Jambudvip. And just like his father, he also ruled the kingdom in a very compassionate way. He maintained his praja with the same affection like a father feels for his sons. But still, he didn't have any son of his own. So later, he developed a desire that I should have a son. So he decided to do some austerity. And he went on to Achal Dronyam. Achal means that one that does not move, that means mountain. And Droni means the valley or the basin. So there are 2 mountains in the valley. So Achal Droni, he went there, between the slopes of a mountain. And in the one of the translations, Srila Prabhupada clarifies where he went. He went on Mandar Hill to worship Lord Brahma. Now, why did he go there? Well, because this was the valley where Apsaras, the heavenly damsels, they would come for recreation or to collect flowers and worship paraphernalia. So it was a very beautiful place where there were parks with dense green foliage and nice light green creepers, beautiful flowers. There was a lake with clear water, and ducks and swans were swimming in it, and the lotus flowers and the sweet sounds of the beautiful birds, peacocks and everything. So it was a very beautiful place. So in this place, it sets the mood for a very beautiful, natural, secluded, and a sacred place, which is very suitable for austerity and worship that Agnidra wanted to do. So our Maharaj Agnidra, he went there with a material desire. He wanted a son so he could attain Pitruloka, and for that a suitable wife. That is what he wanted. So on that Mandar Hill Valley, he entered into a cave. And he started doing his austerity. Now Lord Brahma understood his desire that he wants to beget a qualified son, a son who would perform the religious duties that are needed for him to go to Pitrulok. So Lord Brahma, he sent an Apsara, celestial girl named Purvachitti to Agnidra's hermitage. Now, when I first read it, I had a question. How did Lord Brahma understand what is in Agnidra's heart? Because Prabhupada has explained in one of the purports, because Brahma, he like the Supreme Lord, Brahma is not omniscient or all-knowing, but because Lord Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu as Paramatma, he can understand the desire of the living entity. Brahma can also understand because Paramatma, Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, he informs Brahma as the vaya medium. So because Agnidra was worshipping Brahma, Lord Vishnu revealed this to Brahma. And then Brahma, he was pleased with his austerity, sent the best of the dancing girls that he had in his assembly, Purvachitti, so that Agnidra can fulfill his desire of having a son. And then, so that was the scene. Now we are in a conversation. So in the verses, after that, until now, we are seeing from verse 7 they started, we are seeing how beautiful this heavenly damsel Purvachitti was. And Srila Sukdev Goswami describes, when she passed by Agnidra, her beautiful style of walking and the ankle bells tinkling with each step. And our Agnidra, he's trying to control his senses. He's trying to meditate with amilita nayanal. Amilit means not closed, half open eyes. He's trying to meditate. But, the sounds and the fragrance, she was so naturally beautiful. The way she was walking and the enchanting fragrance. And she was humming something. So the sweet voice, so much grace in her movements. So all that captivated his mind, and he had to see her. And he started to talk to her. So from we have seen so far verse 7 to 11. That is what is happening. He is addressing to her. Agnidra is addressing to Purvachitti, and this conversation goes on. Him addressing her. It goes on until verse 16 of this chapter. So Agnidra, he's mistaking Purvachitti, a woman. He is thinking that this is a very saintly, holy person. And he has started poetically praising her beauty. He's comparing her eyes to some arrows, and he's saying the bees humming around her body. So he's saying that this is like disciples chanting around the guru. He's thinking the ornament she's wearing are birds. And the bodily features that she has, they are some sacred objects. So in this way, his words, how he is addressing to Purvachitti, they reveal that, he has completely become captivated by her charm. And in today's verse also, we are reading verse 12 today. So in today's verse also, this continues, Agnidra addressing to Purvachitti continues. So let's see what he says further to Purvachitti in verse 5 to 12. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashprayeshu Bhadreshu Yam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishti Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Let's recite verse 5 to 12. Lokam pradarshaya suhrutam tavakam me
Lokam Pradasha Suhratam Tavakam Me.
yatratya ithamurasavayavava purvau
Yatra Tya Itam
अस्मत् विधस्य मन उन्नयनौ बिभर्ति
Asmadvidasya mana unvayanau vivarti
बहवद्भुतं सरसरास सुधादिवक्त्रे
Vahadbhutam अद्भुतं सरसरा
Sarasvati
वक्त्रे
Whoever would like to recite also.
लोकं प्रदर्श्य सुहृतं तावकं मे
Lokam
प्रदर्शय
सुरतं
सुरतं मे
यत्रात्य इत्थम् उर्सा वया वाव अपूर्वौ
यत्र
अस्मद्विदस्य मन उन्नयनो विवर्ति
अस्मद्विधस्य
बहव अद्भुतं सरसा रससुहादिवक्त्रे
भगवद्भुतं
अद्भुतं सरसारस सुधादिवक्त्रे लोकं प्रदर्शय सुहृतं तावकं मे
लोकं प्रदर्शय सुहृतं तावकं मे
यत्रात्य इत्थम् उर्साव यवाव अपूर्वौ
यत्रत्यइदं पुरसावयताम् अपूर्वो
अस्माद्विदस्य मन उन्नयनौ बिभर्ति
अस्मद्विदस्य मन उन्नयनो विवर्ति
पाव अद्भुतं सरसारास सुधाति वक्त्रे
भगवद्भुतं
सुधादिवक्त्रे
हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्ण
Synonyms.
लोकं प्रदर्शय सुरतमतावकं मे
Lokam
प्रदर्शय सुरतं मे
यत्रात्य इत्थम् उरुसावययाव पूर्वो अस्माद्विदस्य मन अनुयनो बिभर्ति
अस्मद्विदस्य मनोनयनो विवर्ति
भावाद्भुतं सरसरा सुधादिवक्त्रे
सुधादिवक्त्रे
Well done,
Nice.
Janvi. After a long time.
Thank you.
Let's look at word to word. Lokam,
Lokam
residential place.
residential place
Pradarshaya,
Pradarshaya
please show.
Please show.
Suhratam,
Suhratam.
O best of friends.
Oh best of friends
Tavakam,
Tavakam.
your.
Your.
May, unto me.
unto me
To me.
Yatratyaha,
Yatratyah.
a person born wherein.
a
A
person
person born wherein.
Itham,
Thumb.
like this.
Like
like
this.
this
Urasa,
Ursa.
by the chest.
By the
by the chest
Avayavav,
Avayavo.
two limbs, breasts.
Two limbs.
breast
Apurvav,
Apurva.
wonderful.
Wonderful.
Asmat vidhasya,
asmat vidhasya
of a person like me.
of a person like me
Manaha unnayanav,
Manaha Unnayano.
very agitating to the mind.
very agitating to the mind.
Bibharti,
Bibharti,
Devati,
sustains.
sustain.
Bahu,
Bahu,
Who?
many.
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 Adbhutam,
Adbhutam,
Bhutam,
wonderful.
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 Sarasa,
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 sweet words.
sweet
words.
words.
Rasa,
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 amorous gestures like smiling.
amorous
gestures like smiling.
smiling.
Sudha Adi,
Adi,
Sudha, Adi,
such as nectar.
such as
as
nectar.
nectar.
Vaktre,
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 in the mouth.
in the mouth.
mouth.
Translation and purport by Krishna Krupamurti, His Loving Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
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 Oh best friend,
Oh, best friend,
Best friend,
will you kindly show me
will you kindly
will
show me
you show me
the place where you reside?
the place where you
where
reside?
you reside?
I cannot imagine
I cannot imagine
Imagine
how the residents of that place
how the
how
residents
the
of that
residents
place
of that place
have gotten such wonderful bodily features
have
have
gotten
gotten
such
such
wonderful bodily
wonderful bodily
features
features
as your raised breasts,
as
as your
your
raised
raised
breast,
breasts,
which agitate the mind and eyes
which
which
agitate
agitate the mind and
mind and
eyes
eyes
of a person like me who sees them,
of a
of a
person like
person like
me who
me
sees
who
them.
sees them.
judging by the sweet speech
Judging by
Judging
the
by
sweet
the
speech
sweet
and
speech
kind smiles of those residents,
and
and
kind
kind smiles
smiles
of
of
those
those
residents,
residents,
I think
I think
I think
that their mouths must contain nectar.
that
their
their
mouth
mouths
must
must
contain
contain
nectar.
nectar.
I'll repeat the translation and then please hear the purport. So Agnidra is trying to flatter Purvachitti further. He is saying that, oh best friend, will you kindly show me the place where you reside? I cannot imagine how the residents of that place have gotten such beautiful bodily features as your raised breasts, which agitate the mind and eyes of a person like me who sees them. And judging by the sweet speech and kind smiles of those residents, I think that their mouths must contain nectar. Now, purport, nice and small purport. Still bewildered, Agnidhara wanted to see that place from which the Brahman boy had come, where the men had such raised breasts. Such attractive features, he thought, must be due to the severe austerities performed there. Agnidhara addressed the girl as Suhrattam, or the best friend, so that she would not refuse to take him there. Not only was Agnidhara captivated by the girl's raised breasts, he was also attracted by her sweet speech. Nectar seemed to emanate from her mouth, and therefore he was increasingly surprised. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलम् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So all these verses that we are reading these days, these descriptions, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is speaking very openly, very directly about the bodily attraction between a man and a woman. And I was thinking yesterday, we are so fortunate that, different devotees are coming every day and they are sharing their realizations on how to understand and deal with this topic. And each devotee, they may approach this topic from a slightly different angle. But they are all, the purpose is the same, that to help us become honest about our conditioning and to become more serious about our shelter, about taking shelter of Krishna. And yesterday, Janak Raj Babuji, he gave so many examples from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. I don't think he left any example of, this great personalities like even Lord Shiva, Khatwang Maharaj. So many examples he gave, throughout all the cantos, and how these narrations, they are there in cantos 1 to 9. They are there to prepare us for the 10th canto, where the pure love between gopis and Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is going to be described. And as I was hearing, I was contemplating that, we are hearing about lust, and we are getting prepared to hear about love. So here in this section, we are seeing the narrations about woman's body. Agnidra is attracted to Purvachitti's body, her beauty. And for some reason, we see so many examples in scriptures and even around us of men drowning in passion and lust after a woman's body. But if we think, what is a woman's body? Shankaracharya in Bhaja Govindam, he says, Nari stanabhara nabhidesham dhruvishtva maga mohavesham etan mamsa vasadi vikaram manasi chvichintyam varam varam. He says, oh mind, what are you thinking? Varam varam, again, what are you thinking about? What is a woman's body? A body, body is mamsa, vasam. Body is meat. Vasa means fat. It's just flesh, fat and blood. So, don't get drowned in delusion by going wild with this passion, with this lust, just by looking at a woman's navel and her chest. And there is another place in Bhagavatam in 11th canto. There is a section called Aila Gita. So King Aila, King Maharaj Pururava, he was known as King Aila as well. So he also shares his realization. He got disappointed, and then because he was mad in lust, and then he got disappointed. Then he had a realization. He analyzed his own downfall. So he says in Bhagavatam 11, 26, 21. He says, Tvanmam Swarudhira Snayu Medo Majja Asti Samhatau Vitamutra Puye Ramatam Kruminam Kiyant Antaram. So he says, these material bodies, what are they? They are just skin, they are just meat, they are just flesh, bones, blood, fat, majja, marrow, bloods, urine. They are stool, urine, and pus. They are all these put together. That is what is body, nothing else. So if a human is aiming to try and enjoy a woman's body, King Aila, King Pururava, he says that if a human is trying to enjoy a woman's body, what is the difference between him and the worms that reside within her body, the parasites who are also trying to eat her body? What is the difference? They are also doing the same. Srila Prabhupada, there is a section that we were reading also in 4th canto about King Puranjan. He was also attracted to his wife, and there also we saw similar kind of descriptions of him describing his attraction for her body. And then Prabhupada shares in one of the purports, he shares a story. The story is titled Liquid Beauty. So in that story, once there was a man, he was very much attracted to a beautiful woman. So he persuaded her, he went after her too much. And then the woman made a plan. So he said, she invited him for a date. He said, come and meet me next night. So what happened in the morning, she took a very strong laxative, and for the whole day and in the evening, she kept passing stool, and she preserved that stool. She was vomiting and passing stool, very, very strong laxative she had taken. So she preserved all that in a pot. And the next night, when the man came to see her, she looked, when she opened the door, she looked very pale, very ugly, very lean all of a sudden. And the man was shocked. He was not able to recognize her. He said, where is that lady? And she said, oh, why don't you recognize me? I am the same woman you were talking to yesterday. And the man, refused to believe her. And he was not knowing that because she has lost all her beauty because of that laxative she had taken. So the man began to argue with her, and the woman then said that, today I'm not looking beautiful because I'm separated from the ingredients of my beauty. I don't have the ingredients of my beauty within me today. So then man was puzzled. Then he said, how is that possible? How can the beauty, how can your beauty be separated from you? So then woman said, come, I will show you. And then she handed him that very pot that was filled with her liquid stool and vomit. And then man was disgusted. He realized that, this beautiful woman is just a lump of matter. It is composed of blood, stool, urine, and similar other disgusting ingredients. So see, I'm not I gave these 3 examples, what Adi Shankaracharya says, what King Pururava says in Ailgita, and what Prabhupada has said in this purport. By giving all these examples, I'm not saying that, that the woman's body or any material body, I'm not saying that woman's body is bad or something, but the point is that its body, its material body is made of matter. It's male or female doesn't matter, but it is temporary. That is what it matters. And it is made of these material elements. And this temporary matter, it can become the object of our illusion when we look at it. And if we look at it with, if we have a tinge of selfish enjoyment mentality, then then only we will become illusioned by it. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, these descriptions are there. We were talking yesterday, last couple of days, we were discussing that why there are so many discussions like this in Bhagavatam. But at the same time, these discussions are also there in Bhagavatam, which are opening our eyes and telling us what body really is. So if we start with ABC, what is the ABC of spiritual understanding? We study in the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 that we are not this body, we are the spirit souls. So woman is also not her body. She is an eternal soul. She is part and parcel of Krishna, just as a man. A man's body is also blood, flesh, fat, street, urine, all that. So this meditation about the liquid beauty that Prabhupada has given us, it is not meant for us to disrespect the body or feel disgusted, but it is meant to destroy the lust for the body, and but not destroy the respect that we should have for the soul within that body. So yes, we have been hearing last few days, as I was saying, that why such descriptions are there. Why such open descriptions about woman's bodily features, why they are there in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, in a scripture which is meant for spiritual realization, why such graphic descriptions have to be there. So we have to remember that this is Bhagavatam. It is not some romantic novel that we buy, on the airport and just read to kill the time. It is not meant to entertain our lower mind. Bhagavatam is all about Bhagavan and Bhagavatas. Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, and Bhagavatas, his devotees. So these verses are not there, descriptions are not there to tickle us, they are, but they are there to educate us. They are meant to warn us, and they show that how a very refined, cultured, responsible person like Agnidra here and other personalities in other descriptions, how even they can become disturbed when the senses find even a slight opening. And if and as I said, if the verses describing woman's body or man's body are there in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, then the verses describing the reality of the body, the ingredients of the body, are also there in the Bhagavatam. So, these verses are here to remind us that lust is your biggest enemy. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, lust is the very enemy sitting very close to your heart. Krishna says, Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajo guna samudbhavaha, Mahashano Mahapatma, Vidyame Namahi Vairinam. So, very enemy sitting right within your heart, So, Krishna says, oh Arjun, it is lust only that is your all devouring sinful enemy of this world. And it is Rajoguna Samudbhavaha. It is born out of Rajoguna, the contact with the material mode of passion. And then later it gets transformed into anger. Lust gets transformed into anger. So lust does not need a big door. It just needs a slight opening, and it can creep in. And once the mind begins to follow the senses, then intelligence also becomes covered. So we are here to witness this. These descriptions are not glorifying the bodily attraction between man and woman. They are exposing its power. So we see in this today's verse that Agnidra, he is addressing Purvachitti, a woman. But for some reason, he has assumed that she is a boy, that she is a Brahmana boy, she is a saintly person. So first of all, we know that he is, because he is addressing her as a boy, we can see that he is not thinking clearly. He is bewildered. In yesterday's purport, Srila Prabhupada has, in the first, second line only, Prabhupada said that he has become almost mad. So, he's asking her, where are you from? Where do you live? Which loka are you from? So, he is bewildered by her bodily features, and he is assuming he is a man. And wherever this boy is born, in that place, everyone must have extraordinary features. And not only that, he is not only he's captivated by her external beauty, he is also attracted to the sweetness of her speech and her smiles, all that comes into this verse. So, he's not just struck by her physical beauty, but by her charm, the sweetness, the pleasantness that he's feeling in her presence. It's all binding. So, attraction Agnidra has for Purvachiti is not just physical, it has also become emotional and psychological. And he is drawn to both her body and her sweet speech. So, it's like a total package he has fallen for. There is beauty, there is sweetness, there is charm, and Agnidra is completely enchanted. And he is honestly admitting in today's verse, he is admitting his agitation. He says that a person like me, these features are agitating a person like me. So it means that, he is not claiming that I'm some very elevated transcendental person. He is honestly admitting that, yes, I am experiencing the attraction. And in today's verse, what stands out is her specific form of address. He is calling her Suhrat Tama, the best of friends. So he is not all of a sudden, he's trying to be her friend. He's not merely being polite. He's carefully trying to shape the relationship in his favor. So he's softening his request and the requests that are coming further in the next few shlokas. So he's softening that request and creating some sort of emotional closeness. And certainly he's trying to increase the chance that she will cooperate. And this word that he's using, the strategy that he is using to befriend her, it reveals something very important about desire. That when desire becomes strong, it often becomes strategic. Then people become calculative, manipulative. So desire, when becomes strong, becomes strategic, begin to calculate, and then frame things in a way that serve their own purpose. And sometimes it happens so subtly that the person doing it does not realize, does not recognize that I'm doing it. Very recently, I will share two very recent examples, contemporary examples from news that we are hearing, both from India. So in the beginning of June, first week of June, we saw some very disturbing news from India that there is a person in Odisha, and he is IIT Roorkee pass out. He holds a degree in mechanical engineering. But he has taken a fake spiritual name, and he's living near Radhakund in Vrindavan. He dresses himself in kurta and dhoti and wears Gaudiya Tilak just like us. And then he gives, classes on scriptures. He has his own YouTube channel, and he gives these classes. But why he's doing all this is to establish an identity that can attract young women. And then he can gradually manipulate them and cut ties with their families, and they move in with him. So once the woman becomes under her control, then he would propose a Gandharva Vivaha. And then sometime he will give them milk that is spiked with some intoxicant, saying that this is prasad, and then he will assault them and then record and commit crime like that. So once one woman reported, then many other women came forward. The point is that, we see around us that in these real examples, we see that this is exactly how the mind can manipulate and justify the lust. So this person, externally dressing and conducting himself as a very spiritual person, but in reality he was very lusty, and he was approaching the girls. And was he going to the girls and telling them that I want to satisfy my lust with you? No, he was dressing his lust in guidance or spiritual help or prasad. So, and what to speak of prasad, recently also in India, there was a stand-up comedy show, and an audience member, a man, he made a statement. So what happened was he had gone on a date with a girl, and he spent 370 rupees on a biryani that they both ate. And he was implying that spending 370 rupees on biryani entitled him for intimacy with that girl. And of course, later after this came out and became viral, this man faced the consequences, huge backlash. He got fired from his job, and he is now facing legal proceedings and all that. But this is the reality of lust. Different people package their lust in different packagings. The 370 rupees biryani kind of person is not even, is not even trying to hide behind culture or religion or romance or respect or morality. He is very clear that I paid something, I spent some money on you, I gave some pleasure, then you enjoyed the food. Now I deserve some enjoyment in return. So when he says this, he is simply saying the quiet part very loudly, that my aim is enjoyment and the other people, they are objects of my enjoyment. So this degrading mentality, this is a crude, a very vulgar form of sense gratification. So such a person, he would simply chase enjoyment and be clear about it. But a refined person, the other example we saw, a refined person, polished person, a more intelligent person, they might dress the same lust in a very nice packaging. Externally it may look very spiritual, devotional, but internally his motive is lust. So now these two cases, they seem different. Yes, the crude man, the vulgar man that we say is, at least he's transparent in his degradation. He does not decorate his lust with poetry or well-wishing or something like that. He does not call exploitation love. He simply calculates that I spent 370, I must enjoy. But, so yes, I know this is vulgar, but it reveals the naked logic of material desire. So, and because he is not getting the return of his investment, he is angry, krodha. And that is what Bhagavad Gita says. In Bhagavad Gita 2.62, Krishna says, Adhyayato vishayan pumsa sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho vijayate. How does one become angry? Because when kama, desire doesn't get fulfilled, one becomes angry. So Bhagavad Gita is always relevant. It is more relevant now than ever before. Krishna explains in this verse 2.62 Bhagavad Gita, he is explaining the science of lust. That when mind, dhyato vishayan pumsa, when mind contemplates on the sense objects, then attachment develops. From attachment, lust develops. And from lust, when it's not fulfilled, anger comes. So this vulgar man, he is not some different species. The lust he has, we all have it. He's just, this man is just material desire without any makeup. So, when lust is very rich with education and poetry, it becomes romance. But lust, when it's poor, very plain, it becomes bargaining. But when lust is very shameless, then it becomes, this kind of incidents that that a man would dare to say that 370 lage hai vasool to karna. So, lust, it can become even dangerous. It can become rape. So in these two contemporary examples we saw, this crude person is openly chasing the enjoyment. The polished person may chase the same enjoyment with better language. One may say that I deserve intimacy. The other may say I deserve affection, attention. I deserve comfort, appreciation, things like words like that. But the disease both have is the same. Disease is I am the enjoyer mentality. And bhakti, it is the process of bhakti that trains us to uproot, to reject, to remove this whole mentality from us that I am the enjoyer. Bhakti teaches us that Jivera Swarup hai Krishna Nityadas. I am not the enjoyer. Krishna is the enjoyer. I am his servant. So see, we are not, we don't want to dwell too much on these scandals I just shared. But they are a reality. I am trying to use these cases, real cases, as a mirror of our society, because this is the larger disease of Indriya Priti, just living for the sense pleasure. In Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, 4th verse, Lord Rishabdev, he tells his sons, Nunam pramattaha kurute vikarma yadindriya pritaya apnoti na sadhu manye yadatmanoyam asannapi kleshadasadeha. Nunam, indeed, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam says that it is a fact that if one becomes Indriya Pritaya, Yadindriya Pritaya Aprunoti, if one considers that Indriya Priti, sense gratification, is the aim of my life, so first of all, what will happen? He becomes Pramatta, mad. And then what does a Pramatta person do? Kurute Vikarma. Vikarma means pap. He will do sinful activities that are forbidden by the Shastra. And such a person does not know that because of him doing the same thing in past, him doing these misdeeds because of the same reason in past, because of that, he has received this current body, which is, yes, is temporary, but it is the cause of his misery. I wanted sense gratification. That is why Krishna system has awarded me this current body, that okay, go get sense gratification. But if the person is pramatta, he will continue doing this vikarma in this body also, and then get another body. So he will continue this cycle. But if the person is intelligent, then one would want not to get involved again in these sense activities, in sense gratification activities. That is what Rishabdev tells in this verse, that it is this Indriya Priti because of which the soul keeps getting body after body, continuously getting one material body after another. And that's why, and in one of the one or two verses earlier, in verse 7, Prabhupada also writes about this pramatta kind of mentality. Prabhupada says, pramatta refers to one who cannot control his senses. The entire material world is being exploited by people who are pramatta or vimuda. So these are the vimuda, unintelligent people. But what does an intelligent person do? He would try to get out of the cycle of body after body. So he would be determined and not to enter another woman, another mother's womb again. And that is why, we see in Bilvamangal Thakur, he, in his story, we see that he pierced his own eyes. First he was very lusty towards Chintamani, the prostitute, and Chintamani, she opened his eyes, as we know, he was performing Shraddha ceremony for his father. There was a very heavy storm outside, but he passes the storm, the heavy rain, no boat, there was no boat in the river, so he crosses the river by swimming. He was, he was so desperate up to the point that he used a dead body floating in the river. He used that to stay afloat on the water. And then when he reaches to her house, her gates are closed, so he climbs the gate, uses a snake hanging on the compound wall. He uses that as a rope, and then he climbs the wall. When he's standing in front of her, he is all wet and muddy and bloody and messy. And then Chintamani looks at him, and she says that, "Oh, you are so determined just to touch my body, a bag of blood, bone, and flesh. So had you have the same determination to worship the Supreme Lord, you would have easily attained, you would easily go back to Godhead." So her words, they carried a weight, and they touched his heart, and he decided to leave everything and go to Vrindavan. But still, his eyes opened by her words, but still, this lust didn't leave him. On his desire still disturbed him. On the way, he became attracted to another lady and then to another lady. So his eyes were just going everywhere. So he thought that his eyes, dhyayato vishayan pumsa, these eyes are making me see the sense objects. So he asked the last lady he was with, he asked her hairpin, and then he pierced his own eyes with the hairpins, and finally he became free from the lust. He became blind. He lost the eyes, but he became free because he lost his lust. And then somehow or other, he managed to reach Vrindavan. And Krishna was so pleased, so touched by his determination to get him, that Krishna used to personally come to him and give him milk every day. And then Bilvamangal Thakur would create nice bhajans. And he even wrote a book named Krishna Karnamrita. And this book was so dear to Krishna that when Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went on his South India tour, it said that on his South India tour, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found two books. And it comes, there is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 1.120, about the two books that he found. It says, Brahma Samhita Karanamrita, Dui Punthi Paya, Dui Pustak Laiya Uttama Janiya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Uttama Janiya, he has considered these two books to be the best, to be very valuable, Brahma Samhita and Karnamrita. So Krishna Karnamrita, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has put these two books on the same level, Brahma Samhita and Krishna Karnamrita. So this book, written by this once upon a time a very lusty person, Bilvamangal Thakur, is become so valued by Supreme Lord himself. So in this book, apart from Krishna's sweetness, his beauty, his intimate Vrindavan mood, something else this book is teaching us, and that is hope. Every saint has a past and every sinner has a future, Oscar Wilde says. So let's admit, let's be honest that yes, we have lust. We had lust. That is why we are here in this material world. But let's be very clear. When we say we have lust, it does not mean only sexual lust. In Sanskrit, the word lust, the word for Sanskrit word for lust is kama. That means desire to enjoy. So that we can desire to enjoy, we can carry in many forms. We may have lust for taste. I need special tasty food always. I need pleasure for my tongue. We may have lust for comfort, that I must have my convenience. I cannot tolerate inconvenience, discomfort. My body's ease is first. It's more important than the service. We may have lust for attention, that people should notice me, praise me, admire me, validate me. We may have lust for control, that I want things done my way or highway. I want everyone to behave according to my desire, whether it is in my home, it is in my work, or somewhere I volunteer. So, and we may have lust for recognition. We might want to be seen as very advanced and intelligent and spiritual and successful people. We may have lust for money, for security. I want more and more because, my possessions, they make me feel very powerful. We may have little subtle lust for victory, that I always want to win the argument. I know better than anyone else. I want to prove them wrong. I want always, my word should be the last word. So many lusts we carry. Sometimes we may have lust for position, that, I want a status, I want influence, I want to be above everyone else. So basically, lust happens when in our head, the center of universe is me. Things should revolve around me, my pleasure, my opinion, my comfort, my position, my image, my plan, me. And I want others to, it is others' duty to make me feel loved and important and special and needed. So the form of lust we are carrying may differ, but the disease is the same, and that is, I am the enjoyer. But as we said, every sinner has a future. So we see in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, example of Dhruva Maharaj. He wanted a kingdom that is greater than his father's and his great-grandfather's. So this was not a sexual lust, but this was lust for status, for revenge, for recognition. He wanted to show her. And after seeing the Lord, when he had the darshan of the Lord, he was so blissful, so fully satisfied. He no longer wanted that kingdom. He no longer wanted any material benediction. So, a child also, Dhruva Maharaj, he also had disease of lust, but lust for that kingdom, desire. But bhakti cured that desire. And bhakti does not begin with pretending that no, we are all pure people. All of a sudden I started chanting, so I am pure person, and you all, you all are lusty people. No, bhakti does not start with pretending that we are pure. Bhakti begins with honest diagnosis that yes, this disease is in me. Why are we reading all this? So that while we are reading, we can analyze, contemplate, do I also have this? No? So this sexual lust is also, it's only just one branch of lust, but the root is the desire to enjoy separately from Krishna. So either it is sexual attraction, desire for fame, money, pride, comfort, position, or even desire to do something good for others, so they appreciate you. This can all become sense gratification if the real purpose is my enjoyment. So sometimes this selfish enjoyment looks gross. Sometimes it hides under very noble names like spirituality, morality, charity. But this is exactly the warning. This verse is, today's verse is giving the warning. Suhratstam, the word, strategic word is using. It's giving us warning that that your mind, it can spiritualize even your material attraction. So Agnidra is seeing Purvachitti's beauty, and he is interpreting it through the spiritual imagery, imagination. He's thinking, Prabhupada writes in our today's purport, Prabhupada writes that such attractive features he thought must be due to the severe austerities performed there, wherever Purvachiti is from. So we see that Agnidra's bewilderment is making him rationalize his lust. He's not saying that I'm lusty. He's saying, where are you from? The way your bodily features are, the beauty must be result of austerities, tapasya. And in the next verse, he even says, what do you eat? So that is the mind's talent, turning our desire into something, packaging it in some nice, respectable story. So in material world, our mind helps us package our lust as love, or it is lust, but packaged as love. But Krishna, as Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says love and lust are totally different. He says, Kama Kriya Krodha Doha Kara Vibhinna Lakshana Loha और हेमय च स्वरूपे विलक्षण. It's Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 4.164. So he says Loha and hem, iron and gold, they are both metals, but they have different natures. Similarly, lust and love, they both have vilakshan, they have their own different characteristics. And then he also defines what is love and what is lust. It's a very iconic verse, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 4.165. Atmendriya Priti Vansha Tare Bali Kama Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Prema Nama. That Atmendriya Priti Vansha, the desire to enjoy our own senses, is Kama. But Krishnendriya Priti Icha, the desire to please the senses of the Lord, is called Prema, love. So pure love, it means, acting just as Krishna's servant, just for Krishna's pleasure, not for my own reward. And that is love. We may say that I love my wife, I love my husband, I love my children, but still, that is not love. If Krishna is not in the center. In Brihadaranya Upanishad, Yagnavalkya Rishi, he teaches his wife Maitreyi. So he is about to leave home, and then she says, I love you, and things like that. I cannot live without. And then he tells her that Nava are patyuh kamaya patih priyo bhavati atmanastu kamaya patih priyo bhavati. That pati is not priya, husband is not dear because husband is dear, but husband is dear because Atma to Kamaya, because Atma is dear. Now, Atma word, we can understand there are many meanings of the word Atma in the scriptures. We can understand this in two ways. Atma means self. So husband is not dear to wife or the wife is dear to husband because she loves her husband or vice versa. But he is dear because you love yourself, and that person you say you love is the reason, the source of your enjoyment, your comfort, your emotional security, or the pride that I own this trophy. Or we can understand the word Atma as Paramatma, Krishna. So Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita that all the beauty, no, that all opulent, beautiful, glorious creations, they spring from but a spark of my splendor. So everything, any qualities that we find attractive, the beauty or power or intelligence that we find attractive um, in someone or something, or in a person or object, they are all just faint reflections of the opulence of Krishna. So these different people and objects, they are just like reflections in the mirror. So because we are illusioned, we become attracted to the image in the mirror, the reflection, but we do not look at the person that is being reflected. So this is our disease. And what is the cure? First, admitting we are not pure, we are in the hospital, so we have potential to be cured, and a holy name is the medicine. Actually, Srila Prabhupada has given us the unfailing treatment. Prabhupada has educated us that lust is only the perverted reflection of love of God, which is always there, natural, dormant in every living entity. But because we are away from this realization, this love of God, it deteriorates into lust. It's already 8:35, so I will quickly try to conclude. So we get attracted to bodies that are temporary because of this lust, but this lust is actually perverted reflection of the love for Krishna that we have. We are all looking for pure love, but pure love is only possible in contact with Krishna. But Krishna is not easy to attain. To attain Krishna, we need surrender, purification, and sincere service. But we keep delaying it. We just say that, oh, let me enjoy it just now, and later I will surrender. So, the soul forgets Krishna and then still carries this hunger for love, and at the same time trying to enjoy this material world. So tries searching for that love in the material world. So then we look towards the husband or wife or children or friends or society, position, things like that. And we hope that we will get satisfied here. But we get disappointed again and again. So many other things to say, but we will try to conclude. Lord Rama, when Krishna himself, when he has come as Lord Ram, he teaches us how we can conquer lust. So Ravan is the epitome of lust. He steals Sita, Lakshmi. Lord Ram, with his arrows, when he kills Ravan, Lord Ram shows how we can conquer lust when we surrender to Krishna, when we surrender to Lord Ram, when we chant his names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Then we can truly be happy, we can be safe, and everything can become auspicious, because when we say to Krishna that I surrender unto you, then Krishna takes the war in his own hands. He says that now I will take the war in my own hands. I will conquer lust. I will conquer the Ravan within your heart, because for me it's not difficult. I will kill the demon in your heart with my arrows. So chanting Krishna's name, always staying in association of devotees, not giving this slight opening to our lust. These are the things we can do to stay away from lust. Once again, I have run out of time, many things to say, but I will stop here. If anyone has anything to add, any realizations, please share with all of us, and we can also benefit. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam.
Thank you for your superb class. Your classes are always very enlivening. I always appreciate it very much. Thank you. I have one question, but it's a question of very delicate nature. Being today's class is of delicate nature, and you covered the points that I wanted to ask a question about, so I thought I'll extend it anyway. So effectively, you mentioned a few things. One thing you mentioned is that there was a deviating person in Vrindavan, that is propagating, aprak philosophy or deviating philosophies. Then you mentioned a few things like, in certain circumstances, we must identify what is lust and what is love. So, do we want to have the last word, or should we take action or not? Is it is it because of our own desire that we want to do it or not? So, what happens in a case, say, for instance, we bring that back home for something we can understand. Somebody in our own sampradaya, or say, for instance, a philosophy in our own sampradaya, or Srila Prabhupada's words in our own sampradaya is misrepresented. That's into such an extent that it can create deviation. Now, and especially if that person is in position where they can apply such a deviating philosophy. Now, and if that and secondly is, say, for instance, you have a situation where that it affects you very much, and and you can't you keep meditating on it, and then you took guidance from senior devotees, as well as to see what Shastra says. And then the guidance is that you have to implement something, like, for instance, it might come as a pinhole, but devastate like an atomic bomb. So what does a sadhaka, or somebody that following in our process, do in an event like that, where the situation that or the action that needs to be taken can not be very pleasant for themselves, but it has to be done from a sastric point of view, or in the long run it could be not very favorable situation for us as a society, or us as sadhakas in this process. So it's a mental dilemma. Of course you have to meditate upon it, pray on it, get guidance on it, but the outcome, or the action that one has to do, is not going to be a very pleasant one for yourself. But in the long run, it has to be done. So what should happen? What should one do in that situation, taking everything that you said today into consideration?
So you are saying, Prabhuji, if I'm just trying to reconcile, that someone is propagating the Prabhupada's philosophy in a slightly deviated manner, and they are in a position that they can influence a lot of other people.
That's
And
right.
what should a sadhaka do?
That's right. So to put it into perspective, if one follows this philosophy like that, it's suicide. But if one propagates to others, it's what is it called, a mass
Yes.
genocide, mass
Yes.
genocide. To put it very harshly.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji, we see, that does happen. But I think if we stick to reading Srila Prabhupada's books ourselves, then, there is nothing that can deviate us. We cannot, I don't know, it's case by case scenario. So in some cases we can stop, in some cases we cannot stop. Sometimes it is in our hands to stop them, or sometimes, all we can do is, bring attention to the higher authorities. So it's case by case, but what a sadhaka like me would do is stick to Srila Prabhupada's philosophy, so we know what is the real philosophy, and when we see a deviation, we are able to recognize it and stay away from it. So that is what I would do, Prabhuji. But I'm sure you have meditated on this already. So you please share with us also. What an
Yes.
advanced devotee like you would do. Please tell us also.
See, Mataji, I am a person that is okay. I'll tell you what my Guru Maharaj once told me when I was in this situation, and I spoke to him. My Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Maharaj, told me, see, the thing is that let the whole world let the whole world spit at you, let the whole world ostracize you, as long as Srila Prabhupada is pleased with you. So, you know, that's so whenever I do anything, I think like that. So then I have a look and I think, listen, so, you know, Shastra says that, you know, when offenses is committed or aparad is committed or Vaishnava aparad is committed, one should not tolerate it. So one should not tolerate it. So, but the point is that, yes, I know what needs to be done. You know, I've been advised, you know, guided by senior devotees to be done. But to execute it is something that I am afraid to do. And but it has to be done. So I don't know. I mean, it'll be, you know, quite, anyways, I
But
am
we
praying.
can open up temples, Prabhu. We can go and open up temples and spread Srila Prabhupada's movement.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mataji. So that wasn't the question anyway. So yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I thought I'll ask that question because you brought up those points, and sometimes like we are, you know, we're encountering right now in Bhagavatam, we sit in a position where we're in a crossroads, you know, and we have to, you know, digest uncomfortable situations. Sometimes we have to take the bitter pill or swallow something that we don't like for the greater good. So one devotee told me once is that in my early days, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yeah. So sometimes we have to do what has to be done, and you know, yes, opening up temples might be there, but that wasn't the question or the discussion at hand right now. So you know,
That
we are
Hare
talking about
Krishna.
Haribol Mataji, Dandavat. How are
That
you? Nice
Hare
to hear your voice.
Krishna. And be happy.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Bhavamayi. Very beautiful class, as it always. I just want to add something in the same canto, canto 5, and there is a 14th chapter where they say the material world is the forest, as a forest of enjoyment. And I just want to read quickly. There is a translation of this 14 verse, 5:14, 28. Say, sometimes the conditioned soul is attracted by illusion personified, his wife, girlfriend, a Prabhupada, this translation is there, and becomes eager to be embraced by a woman. Thus he loses his intelligence as well as knowledge of life's goal, and at that time no longer attempting spiritual cultivation. He becomes overly attached to his wife, a girlfriend, and tries to provide her with a suitable apartment. Again, he becomes very busy under the shelter of that home and is captivated by the talks, glances, and activities of his wife and children. In this way, he loses his Krishna consciousness and throws himself in the dense darkness of material existence. This is such a nice verse over there. The thing is that being a grasta is not anything wrong. If the same grasta is engaged with his family, his wife, his children in Krishna consciousness and involving everybody in the family, then it is not a forest. This material world is not a forest of enjoyment. Then actually this is the real. But when we are overly attached with these things and forget Krishna consciousness, that's actually the one thing which we have to understand. So all these verses in this chapter we are reading and we will read is actually, as you mentioned, and Jankaraj Prabhu also mentioned. So this is actually a warning for us. Being a Grihastha is not bad, but how we use that Grihastha life is the important thing. Thank you very much, Bhavamayi, for your wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, you know, most of us, we know we are adults, we are in our 40s, 50s, 60s, you know, so we are past that phase in our life when we will fall for this man-woman attraction thing. But, you know, it's nice to read this so we can process what was happening at the time, or, you know, we can use this, whatever we are hearing these days, you know, we can use this to slide into our conversations with our teenage children or grandchildren, and you know how our mind is the one, you know, as Mataji is just saying, mind is the culprit, and dragging us into sense gratification and mistaking lust for love and what is real love. So you know, it's really helpful for us to train our children also who are going through you know, teenage years. Anyone else?
Mataji, if I may just add a little bit to that. I think
Yes.
while I was researching, coming
Yeah.
forward from here, I think Prabhupada mentions in his book that even up to death, one is affected by sensual
Yeah.
desire. It's not
Yeah.
age related. Even
Yeah.
at the deathbed.
Yes, Prabhu, I read that passage, one of the passages. Prabhupada says even 80-year-old man goes to the club. He's, he's not able to do anything, but he still hasn't given up the desire to enjoy. Yes, Prabhupada writes a very long passage on that also. Yes. Thank you for bringing it, Prabhuji. All right. Granthara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Mahapuran ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All
Jai.
glories. Devotees
Hare
of
Krishna.
All
Address
glories.
Bhavamayi Dasi ki Jai.
Jai. Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Good
Hare
day.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Have a beautiful
Hare
day.
Krishna.